Come on in. Hello, hello, everybody. All right. So we are going to go ahead and get started today. We want to welcome all of you to our conversations with nonprofit leaders. We are excited to talk with you all this evening. We have some great, amazing nonprofit leaders that we're going to be talking to today. And so we are going to kind of jump in and do a quick overall of what we're going to be doing today. And then we're going to jump into our conversations today. So my name is Elizabeth, and I am the owner of UR Life Consulting, and we work with nonprofit organizations to help build their infrastructures. We created this space, Conversations with NPO Leaders, to be able to have a platform for nonprofit leaders to really come on and kind of relax and talk about their journey. Talk about the things that they've gone through while operating their organizations. Talk about some of the stories and scenarios, some of the highlights to being in part of a nonprofit organization, and really just help each other out. You know, we love, if you know UR Life Consulting, you know, we love to network. We love to have resources. So we would love for you to come in, share this video with your friends and family, but also engage with us. You know, if you have questions about anything that we're talking about, please feel free to put a comment in the chats, and we will definitely be able to get with you on that. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Miss Kim, who is going to introduce herself and her nonprofit organization.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Saturday, you guys. I am Kim Hill. I am the founder of I Am Tailormade, a nonprofit organization who caters to children with incarcerated parents, as well as women building bridges that last a lifetime, connecting on purpose, with purpose, and for purpose. We are out of Orlando. We have been in operation for about 7 years. Started the nonprofit sector about 5 years ago.
5 years. That's good. 5 years is a good amount of time. So in those 5 years, what would you say was one thing that you learned the most? Like, what was the biggest lesson you learned in those 5 years?
I would say just what we were just talking about before we came on, you know, just learning how to be consistent and balanced and finding your niche, you know, what's your audience, and sticking to that.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, because it's easy to follow the shiny object. You know, you start your organization and you have this idea of what you want to do. And it's great. And people really want to support you and they really want to help you out. But sometimes that can kind of deter you from your main goal, your main focus of your organization. And so that's where I feel like being consistent about what, you know, being consistently focused is going to really come in handy for nonprofit leaders, because it really keeps you in line, and it allows you, a space to say, you know, we love that idea, but it doesn't quite align with the direction that we're going in right now, you know? But if you don't know what that direction is, you'll find yourself doing everybody else's focus instead of your own.
That's correct. That's correct. And that's really good. You know,
absolutely. And that's crucial.
It is very crucial. It's definitely very crucial, because like you said, you have so many organizations that do a lot of stuff, but a lot of times when you say, what is your purpose? What are your values? And you're like, okay, like, I don't know all of that. Y'all got a lot going on. So you're not really hitting what your mission is, you know, because we want to do everything. You want to, you know, when you're in a nonprofit, and most people who have nonprofit have really big hearts. And so sometimes trying to find that balance and that niche onto you are doing, because what your value is, it can sometimes, I guess, stray you away when you're connected and you hear other people doing this and doing that. Right. And oh, but I can do that, or I want to do that. I want to help do this. I want to help do that. So a lot of times, a lot of collaborations, sometimes they're not, I wouldn't say necessarily bad collaborations, but they're not where you're supposed to be. So you just have to learn how to find your niche, your balance, and be consistent with it. And if whatever it is that you're doing, just stay in line with your mission.
Right. Absolutely. So that's definitely a major thing, being mission focused. And so if you're not clear on your mission, this is a great time to stop what you're doing and kind of sit down and clarify what that mission is for your organization, clarify what those goals are for your organization, because those are the things that you're going to remain consistent on. And so I love that you said that, because that is like right on the money, it's like spot on with, what organization leaders have to keep in mind, and it's a big world out here, and there's so much that you can get involved with, so much that you could do, to where it's like you really have to say, okay, this is our lane and this is where we're staying, right. and not necessarily disregard other things that's going on that you possibly can help with, but that's where those collaborations come in handy. How can you collaborate with somebody who's already doing the work in that area, so that you're not burning yourself out or burning out your team trying to do everything, when you don't have to. You can just partner with others that are doing it, and then together you guys are doing everything.
That's amazing, Elizabeth. and that's I wish it was so many clones of you, understanding, that you don't have to do everything. You can get someone who has, not your same mission, but the values are the same as far as the connection on purposes. Right. When you're connecting, find out in your community who, like I have kids with incarcerated parents. So, sometimes like the one that was the nonprofit person that was supposed to come on, she has for swimming. And so it's a collab, because my kids need things to do, and she offers services. There's other things that a lot of people offer that you can absolutely collab with them and still have your name. I think a lot of times it's the name game.
Yes.
Take home the name trophy. That's what I call it. Right. And so, but with me, it's all the way around building bridges that last a lifetime with people,
Right.
So, yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely. Building those bridges is a major thing. And the name game should not necessarily be the biggest part of what's going on. The focus should always be around the people you're serving, the community that you're serving, right? And so being able to say, hey, you do this, I do that, your organization does this, our organization does this, but together we can do something bigger. And together we can reach more people. Together we can do that, and not fight so much over whose name is first on the flyer. Because the community that you're serving, they don't care whose name is first on the flyer. They care about your services. They care about you showing up. They care about you being consistent. They care about you genuinely wanting to help them move into that next space.
Absolutely.
And so that's where the focus really should be. But we understand, starting a nonprofit organization, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And you want to be, naturally, you want to be recognized for that work. And that's just the natural thing. Like, okay, we put this work in, we want people to know that this is what we did. And I think that's absolutely awesome. So I want to take this moment to bring Miss Arkeisha into the conversation with Team Kareem Memorial Foundation. Miss Arkeisha, how are you doing today? I think she can hear us. Let me make sure her thing is, she's good. Miss Arkeisha, are you able to hear us? Okay. I know she's in the midst of traveling. She was out with some of her youth today, so she's on location.
Okay.
There we go. How are you doing today?
Great, yourself?
Doing good, doing good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We were just getting the conversation started, just doing some introductions. And so we want to kind of hand it over to you to allow you the space to kind of introduce yourself, introduce your organization, and take it away.
Thank you. My name is Arkeisha Reese, founder of Team Kareem Memorial Foundation, which is I started the nonprofit organization after Kareem had passed through the drowning. We provide an array of services that includes swimming lessons, CPR, lifeguard training, and then also the support needs of families that we service in the community.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. And how long have you guys been how long have you guys been established?
8 years.
8 years. Wow. So I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Ms. Kim. In the 8 years that you've been established, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned?
That's a good one. Because as you know, being in the nonprofit for 8 years, you deal with a lot of community partners. I have learned I'm straightforward. Communication is key because I have found a lot that they interpret something differently or they expect more, so it's good to communicate. I'm more of a doer. And I appreciate, I'll do a lot in the community and I don't have to have the publicity, but for some reason with nonprofits, it seems like a competition. So,
yes.
Communication. And I just learned, it's for you, if it doesn't work out, just keep it. Somebody will your mission. Because we all start mission for a reason, right? So somebody, you find the right team. I'm learning that, right?
Absolutely. Definitely need the right team. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I love it. I love it. Say that one more time.
Did I answer your question
Absolutely.
correctly?
Yes, yes. So we were just, before you came on, we were just talking about, what are some of those challenges, and Ms. Kim shared with us, just being consistent. So, and we, just before you got on, we were talking about the idea of collaborating and understanding that it's not about whose name is first on the flyer, but it's more about the work that you can do in the community and who you're going to serve, because those people don't care about whose name is first on the flyer. They just want to make sure they are able to get the services. And so we
correct. And then you have sponsors and stuff looking at that too. So the services, they make sure you see what you're doing, but just do it. Don't just do it.
So today's takeaway, just do it. That's going to be the number one takeaway for today. Just do it. Get out there and do it. Do the work in the community. And I think that's an awesome way to lead into into the rest of our conversation today. So I really want to ask you guys, now that we kind of discussed a little bit about the organizations and, what's some of the big lessons that you've learned in this field, I would love for you to kind of explain to our audience, what really got you into this field? What was that one thing or that passion piece that said, you have to start this organization because the community needs it? What would you say would be that one thing? We'll start with Ms. Kim.
You want me to go first? Oh, okay. You want me to go, Ms. Kim?
Yeah, go ahead, babe. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was waiting. Letting you go.
Okay. The one thing that started me, allowed me to start my organization because of my son. You see him in the background, and I started seeing the numbers, especially after he passed through the drowning. I did my research, and it's just happening all around. As you know, a lot of people don't know, drowning is the #1 cause of children ages 1 to 4. Florida is the first state, Texas second state, and California is the third state. And that's been running for the last 3 years, with the number of drownings. And I hear it on the daily, like parents reach out to me. They, they have other children they don't want it to happen to, so they need help with swimming lessons. And swimming lessons is not cheap. And a lot of people don't know that. They figure this and start about $400 for one. Okay. So we deal with, with the economy and everything is hiking, and a lot of families could barely pay their rent and eat. So, swimming lessons will definitely not be a priority, but it is needed. We're around water. So that's what drives me. The pain, what happened years ago, the pain doesn't go away, and I don't wish that on no family.
Right. I absolutely understand that. And like even with, and I think we all currently are in the state of Florida, we're surrounded by water all the time.
Yes.
Going to the beach is the major thing, and so just being able to have that knowledge and information when you're in that space is crucial. I made sure that my son knew how to swim. It was like,
yes,
you have to learn how to swim. You have to learn how to be in this space, because this is what's around, so that's super, super important. So, and Ms. Kim.
So what caused me to, or I guess your word would say, what purpose the organization in me? So mine would be the same. It would be pain. I started I Am Tailormade from a place of really broken. I had to deal with a situation as far as with a parent being incarcerated. And so it made me realize, like on both ends, my children was a product of having a parent incarcerated, in their life. And it took a lot to be a mother for children with incarcerated father slash, a guardian. Mm-hmm. And people don't realize that having an absent parent, not just having an absent parent because they're in this world and they don't see about their children, but having an absent parent and they're locked up, so they don't have the privilege to see their children. So that was one of my things that allowed me to open myself up to feel the purpose of having someone to advocate, someone to hear, someone to listen, someone to interact, be patient in the process of kids growing without having a parent because they're incarcerated. Right. Is what allowed me to open up my nonprofit organization. Just living it, being in pain, causing it. I was one of those parents. My children was the same. They had me and then my husband, so we've dealt with it on both sides, and just learning how to, I guess, give that ear to somebody because you've been there. You can't teach people things where you've never been. I know it's a lot of people say you can, but it's so much easier when to advocate for something that you have put your shoes in, you have walked, miles in. So that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, I mean, and that also kind of makes it a little bit more relatable. When you see a look on somebody's face, you know what it is, as opposed to somebody who may not have gone through it, that's not quite sure, or you may see them do something and not even say anything, but just know what they need, whether that's walking up and giving someone a hug or, a kind word or encouragement, or just saying, hey, why don't we just sit and just sit, but you kind of have a better idea of what that person may need, especially with, for both of you, what you both have experienced. That personal touch, that relatableness of it is definitely what's going to come across really strong, so right. When you're out and you're mentoring these families and you're mentoring the youth in these families as well, you can say like, no, I know. Right. And that makes a difference for a lot of people when they can look at you and say, I know you feel or you understand what I'm going through. We all just want to be understood on a general level, right? Yes. On a day-to-day level. Like, I just need you to understand what I'm saying or where I'm coming from. And so that goes true for that as well. So I love that you brought that up.
Can I piggyback off that a little bit?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
also, you're right on that. And the kids, the siblings as well. Cause I had other kids through marriage and my own, and didn't realize that how bad that they was affected, because not only did my life change, I changed a lot of things with dealing with them. It was no, you ain't going, no this, no, you know what I'm saying? Only the protection part of it, not knowing that they were suffering. So by me experiencing that, I actually, few years past, I apologized to my sons, and I was like, I'm sorry. And that meant a lot to him, but I didn't see it at the time. I was just dealing with the hurt and the pain that I knew how. So I encourage other parents who has other siblings, like, try to keep going, try to, because they'll feel left out. They'll feel like you probably ain't love them like, the one who passed, or, they go through it. So by me going through it, I was able to help some more parents to say, talk to your teenagers, because they go through it. They miss their siblings, like they was close, so they don't talk. Like, one of my sons is a lot involved in the foundation, one is not, and I respect that, because it's harder for him, so you got to listen to your kids, listen to the youth, but it is a learning lesson. Like, we just human, we just try to make it,
Yeah, and we're all learning together, with the circumstances for both of you. It was like everybody's kind of learning together at the same time. And, everybody's going through their individual process, but all together at the same time, and so I definitely appreciate what you're saying. Like, and a lot of people think you don't have to do that with your kids, but I absolutely love that you took the time to really sit with them and explain to them and apologize in that way, because it allows our kids to know that we're human too. We feel too, and that they're, we do things based off of feelings. We do things based off of what we think is best for them. But that doesn't mean we're always right.
Because a human mind loses connection with the heart, and men act from a place of fear. So it's definitely open. That's why, with the nonprofit, it's two aspects of me. It's the women and then the children. So on both levels, what I cater to, but both of it, the values is the same, because you gotta be you have to have a listening ear. You have to be an advocate. I have the best interest of everyone that I connect with, but that's because I want to. It's purpose bound. Like, you have to want to do it. A lot of people have nonprofit organizations and they think it's about money, and it's just so many things that I hear. There's so many things that just goes on in the back end of people thinking having a nonprofit is about this, and this. But really, you really have to have a heart for it, because sometimes you might never get a scholarship or never and you're paying out of pocket for many years, but the reason why you can keep going is because you have a heart for it. The reason why you're not getting paid for it and you're okay. I mean, we're not okay, because everybody needs but you can understand the process because you have a heart for it. You went through it, the pain, you endured so much to get to where you are. So, that's what a nonprofit really is all about,
Yes, and I love how you roped it back into your experience too, because you're right. Funding may not come right away or ever. We all, you start out with the hopes that that's what's going to happen and these are the things you're going to get. But the reality is, will the work still continue if you never get funded? And you have to have that real conversation with yourself, with your team, hey, if we never get funded, if no one ever supports us financially, are we still ready to take this step and help these people? And if that answer is yes, go full, then you got it. You're great.
The biggest flex for me, organization, the biggest flex has to be the commitment. That has the biggest flex for me. Like, if I have, they say you have to have, this many people on your board, and you have to, but if you can't be on the same commitment as the founder, like it's not for you, because you may not get paid. You may be in the back end sometimes, but you got to be okay with it. You know, you have to be.
And that's the problem I have, Kim. Same thing. It's like I get angry. I'm passionate about what I'm doing, you know,
Right.
and I mean business when it comes to the foundation, my son name on every, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
on everything. And they
Get it.
you know, and they just like taking it no, this is what we need to do,
Yes.
right? Right.
Yes.
But they don't understand that.
Right.
But it's not, I don't get paid, you know, hopefully we'll get there. But in the meantime, you need to know what our mission is and why are we doing what we do.
Yes.
Yes, because I get angry. I'm upset sometimes because it's like a lot of people too, if I don't say my story instead of just, you know, then they don't help. And I'm like, do I really gotta, you know, tell this painful story every time?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
sometimes
if that's what
people
it
just
takes,
nosy.
somebody
Sometimes people just nosy. People are just nosy. Like,
what's crazy?
What
right?
happened? Oh, you know, they just nosy. You know.
Right. I get it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. But yeah, you know, telling your story is a major part, you know, of operating your nonprofit organization. Telling your story is a major part of the mentor aspect to what both of you do, because that brings in the relatableness of it. Do I think you need to tell it every single time? Like, no. You know, I think there's certain situations that don't necessarily warrant the entire story. And yes, sometimes people are just being nosy. I agree with that too, you know, but definitely just knowing it and just having that passion show through your actions, having that passion kind of show up almost right before you do, right? Is kind of what catches people's attention sometimes. It's like, oh, we knew about you already because we saw you showing up in other places before they actually got to meet you in person.
Come on, Elizabeth.
You know, that's one of the things I say is like, you know, you have to be mindful of the reputation. You have to be mindful of what you're putting out there, especially as mentors in that space. You know, you know, with Team Kareem being centered around, you know, water safety and things of that nature, it's like, you know, somebody may look at it and say, well, what's the difference if I don't, you know, I could just go to the YMCA and get the same thing. You know, I can go like, why you, you know, and that's where those were the times where that story portion of it really separates you out from the crowd and says, look, this is why. And while, yes, you can obtain things other places, what we're going to talk to you about, what we're going to mentor you on is the things that we've experienced. It's the things that we've gone through. And it's more than just the safety part of it, but it's everything around it. Like you said, we talked about the siblings, we talked about other people being involved, other people being committed or focused with your same mission. Like it's all of that in one. It's not just, hey, put goggles on, you know, it's so much more than that. And that kind of brings me into a question that I was thinking about, just, you know, with listening to both of your conversations and some of the things that you're doing, you know, how do you feel that about the work that you've done thus far? How do you feel that it has impacted your personal life, like you as a person? You know, what would you say is like that thing that's like, this changed me, you know, because based on the work that you're doing?
Well, I can say for me, the comments and the feedback that I get, it actually not only keep me going, but I know that I am making a difference. Like you say, people do watch you.
Yes.
You'll be surprised. Just got a message this morning. One of my, she volunteers and stuff with me, and she got awarded her job yesterday, and she sent me a picture. She said, I just wanted to share it with you because you had a part of this. Thank you for being my leader. And I'm like, you're welcome. But I'm just, you know, I just try to do the best that I can, try to set a good example and just be honest and fair with everybody, you know, young or old. So I learned that what I'm doing, and I just try to keep going. I just had a street naming. So that's a big plus. I was in shock. You know, that's a big accomplishment, but
absolutely.
Yeah. You know, so I just keep going, just try, but it is changing me. I just gotta be mindful and keep going in the right path.
Absolutely, absolutely. Miss Kim? You're on mute.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I think what has changed for me, just remembering like the season that I once was in, and how now the things that I do for others, just as I teach them and learning, I'm learning too. So I've had a list, I have a thing where I said lit, I'm living, I'm increasing, and I'm teachable. So in the area of my life, it has taught me to be just that. Before I was not like that. I would pop off, say what I need to say. I don't care what you think or how you think. But now, because of, I would say, my reputation, and someone is always watching me, I have to learn how to adjust, or I learned how to adjust in every area of my life. In the home, you have to act accordingly. When you're out, you have to act accordingly, because there are so many people that look for you. I give so much to others. I have to bring that same energy back to my house and teach them. You got to teach them how to love. You got to teach them how, to be supportive to each other. You got to teach them how not to say certain things, and so I think me having a nonprofit and building bridges with other people, it allowed me to build bridges with myself and with my family, and the things that, setting boundaries. I didn't have boundaries, but I have boundaries now. So teaching other people how to set boundaries, and me learning off of all of that, of course, I had to start doing that myself. And then you can only teach people what you know. Mm-hmm. So you're not supposed to teach people if you don't know. So you have to be your own product, right? Mm-hmm. I would say I'm my crash dummy. So what I live for in my house, I would want to do the same for others. So it has definitely taught me how to be more patient and trust the growing process. Remembering that in every season, no matter where you at, you have to be aware of you. Yes. And going, and you can't be tripping. You can't be tripping.
And then, yes, you're right. And then also, like you said, balance. And now working on that with my nonprofit work and home, because I spend a lot of hours making this nonprofit what it is, and it takes away from home. So you gotta, like I tell my husband all the time, I appreciate you, because it's a lot of time spent away, or I may be tired when I come in because it's exhausting, it mentally. But the balance, you got to learn how to turn your phone off at a certain hour, dedicate some time, because it will take over. I'm learning that, because
it will.
It'll take a toll. Yes.
And you're right. The balance is it. I mean, that is I would say that is one of the key nuggets that is taking me where I am today. You have to put balance in it, because for me, I have a nonprofit and I have profit, business. And so I don't want to take away from my house. And so I try to, make myself available, because like me and Miss Elizabeth was talking about, in the morning time, that's a you time. That's you getting up, and when you say where you are now, it's all because we say, oh, we've been in it for 8 years. Every day is a new day. Every day you learn something. That's why you got to be lit. You're lit. You're learning, you're increasing, and you're teachable. So within that balance, you learn how to juggle your marriage, juggle your children, juggle your job and your nonprofit, and you can still have that joy. You can still have that peace. And so that's where I am, because the nonprofit, the prophet has taught me that you cannot do everything. You have to make time for it. You know, you have to have time for your husband. You have to have time. And it's like a calendar. You have to have a calendar. You have to be organized. You know, everything goes on a schedule. Everything, you know, sometimes it's not always that it's going to be the way that you want it to be. But for and foremost, on Mondays, this is what I'm doing. I'm not talking to y'all on Monday. Like, it's it. I don't care if Jesus don't come down from, you know, heaven. There's nothing that I need to say to anybody on Monday, because that's my time, you know. You know, when you come in the house and, oh, my phone is going off, it's going on do not disturb, you know, I gotta cook dinner, I have to do this. And so those are things that you have to put in balance, like you said, and it'll come, you know, but you just have to start proactively
somewhere. Yes, try somewhere. Because even my family, them, you know, they come over, I go visit them, they was like, there go Miss Businesswoman, because my phone never stopped. My phone never stopped because I have a for-profit too. And it's like,
right,
this ain't working. You know, I'm trying, but you know, you got to answer the phone when it's business, because a lot of time my for-profit help my nonprofit, because if it's not coming in, I got to keep afloat, right? So,
right.
But I'm working on a balance. I'll say, your husband, if I'm free or ain't got appointments, let me look at it. Notice me and your time, few hours, you know, because it's important. It's
very, very important, because you need just as well as they need you need them. And so you have to make them a priority. You have to make them important,
right? Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love that you both are so on the same page about all of this, you know, and it just goes to show how, you know, you can have organizations that do two totally different things, but the foundation, the infrastructure of it, how you handle the internal things, a lot of times they are the same. You know, leaders are struggling with the same things because you're faced with the family, you're faced with the balance, you know, and being able to juggle all of that, being, you know, especially with being mentors and working with families, it's like a lot of times you are leading by example, you know, and so you have to kind of get yourself right in a way, or at least start trying, you know, be in the process of it, you know, because a work in progress is fine as well. But be in a space where, like you said, you are teachable. Even though you're mentoring, you know, sometimes our kids will get us right. They will check us in a heartbeat, you know, and you have to sometimes step back and say, okay, you know, and so those people that you're mentoring, like, I love how you guys talk about it, because it's like, it's not just telling people what to do, you know, but it's kind of having those conversations with them, walking through the process with them, giving them shoulders to lean on, or helping them know, like, hey, I understand where you are, you know, because that's major. So to me, at least, it's a major component of being in that space, you know. And so I kind of want to ask you, I know we talked about a little about what each of your organizations do, but I wanted to ask you, you know, and I'm going to start with you, Ms. Arkeisha, when it comes to water safety. And I know that's where your focus aligns in most spaces, but what would be the top thing that you would say to a parent or a family when it comes to that water safety in their kids?
Drowning is 100% preventable. It's, you know, I stand behind C, which is supervision, education, and environment. Those three components, as long as you do that, you won't have no drownings.
Drowning is 100% preventable. I like that. I like that. Ooh, you can just sit with that for a second. And okay, and so I'm just gonna be completely transparent, y'all. I do not know how to swim. In theory,
so when you go learn?
In theory, I know how to swim.
A lot of people, yeah, like, because you could get in and, you know, do the little six feet, stay up, but no, from side to side or front to back, no, right? You can't tread, but we'll work on it. Like, yeah, put that on your list to work
on my list, right?
Okay. Yes.
Absolutely. But even with me not knowing how to swim, like I still understand the importance of it. And I also understand and respect the water. And I think that some people don't look at it in that way, like that you have to respect the water. And it's like, well,
Right. They
water.
look at it
Like,
fun. No, you got to respect it, especially at the beach. You got rip
yes.
current, you know, the canals, all the different waters is different.
Absolutely.
So you need to know the different types, and you need to know what you're capable of. Even like stand behind, no swim alone. Even athletes, they shouldn't swim so they could get a cramp, but again, education is key to whatever we're doing. I can educate on this. You can educate on your nonprofit. She can educate on, So
Right.
just as long as we keep educating, then they'll know. But if they don't, nobody will know.
Right. I love it. Yes, absolutely. And Miss Kim, what would you say in your organization? Like, what are some of those key things that you kind of talk with your families about, or tips that you would give them? What would you say is like that top thing? I know, I'm sure there's like 10 of them, or more.
I'm gonna keep it small. I would, be big, be big, dream big, be brave in everything that you do. Be around positive energy, allow yourself to press restart every single day that you need to.
Miss Arkeisha, I see you. She's like, yes.
Yep. So I have a saying, let your force and your focus be bigger than your fear.
Your force and your focus.
Your force and your focus. It has to be.
Has to be.
That's key chrono, being brave, dreaming big, but you have to allow your force and your focus to be bigger than your fear.
Agree. Because fear will have you standing still.
Yes, it will.
Fear will have you just that afraid, fear will have you doubting what you're capable of doing. And fear that split second can change your whole life.
And even not even the fear, just unfocusedness. Like people be unfocused. Like, you have to be focused. If 1 minute I'm cooking some spaghetti over here, and then I want to come over here and I want to cook some shrimp.
Right. It's like
you can't be all over the place. You can't be all over the place. You gotta be focused. You gotta have this real narrow tunnel vision.
Yes.
Stay focused. Because I tell my mentees that like all the time. I'm like, y'all they were like, we make a joke because we got Jules coming up, right? And so they're like, I just want to find, I had one of my mentees, we were talking about, her Boaz. It was like, and I just kind of put in perspective the Tyler Perry movie, how, she went and her husband got shot, and then she had to deal with this right here when I want to slap you, but I can't. But I love you so much to I'm okay to get through it and push you through it. At the same time, I'm learning me and I'm getting me together. So when what was his name, Orlando came, it was like, not right now. I'm gonna play with you a little bit, but then I'm still trying to work out this over here. So I'm saying, gotta get yourself, you gotta stay yourself focused, even in the midst of everything that's going on around you. So I said, your Orlando is out there, girl, go get him, but you gotta be focused, what I'm saying? And you gotta be open, you gotta be open, and you gotta be focused, and not letting your fear, predict any of what to accomplish in life. And just because you've been through so many things in life, and pain does not disappear, and it's okay to cry, it's okay to be in pain, but just keep getting back up. Keep showing up. That's what Jules on Purpose is this year. Keep showing up. You keep showing up. Like, you're gonna get sick of me, you're gonna get sick of me because I'm gonna keep showing up no matter what you say to me, no matter how you treat me, no matter, if I don't have this, I don't have that, even on Facebook, the likes and all this stuff. Like, I don't care. If only one person come on my live, I'm gonna keep showing up. Hey, how you doing? So you just have to allow your force and your focus to be bigger than your fear.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. And you're right. You have to be, and that goes along with what we were talking about earlier about being consistent. You know, keep showing up, keep being consistent, you know, and showing up as your authentic self, you know, and in order to do that, you have to kind of know who you are.
Yes.
You have to kind of know what your boundaries are.
Absolutely.
You know, you have to know where you shine at. You have to know, you know, you have to know these things in order to show up authentically as yourself. Know what your strengths are. Know what your weaknesses are. Don't necessarily
repeat that. Say that again.
No.
Say that again. You gotta know what your strengths are.
You gotta know what your strengths
you gotta
are.
know it.
And you gotta know what your weaknesses are too, you know, and when you know that, then act accordingly, you know, and just because you have a weakness, it doesn't mean that you cannot do what that thing is. It just means that you know that that's not your ultimate lane.
Not right,
you know?
now. It's a not right
There's
now.
a lot of things that I can do okay, but there's people
Right.
who doing way better than me. Okay,
that's right.
And I'm okay with that. You know, you have to be
our own demand.
You know, we have to be okay with who we are and where we are. And not okay in a sense that we're going to be stagnant in that moment. Correct. But okay in a sense that we feel good in our skin.
That's good.
You know, that we have the confidence that we need to know that, hey, we can do this. You know, and if I don't know how to do this, what am I willing to do to figure it out? You know, oftentimes our weaknesses are just opportunities that we haven't really fleshed out. You know,
right.
We haven't really stepped into them. It's just like, well, okay, it's over there. You know, like I probably would be a great swimmer if I actually applied myself to it, right?
Right.
You know, but in this moment now, I can check that as a box of a weakness. You know, it's like, I'm not a good swimmer. I'm, you know.
And you know it. And you know it. Right.
Right.
You ain't ashamed of it. You're not hiding. You're aware of it. So that's the first step. You know, like in the AA classes, whatever. The first
you gotta acknowledge it.
You know,
and identify.
You say it. You identify with it, you know. And so that's good.
Absolutely. So I love this conversation. You all have been absolutely wonderful. We're going to kind of round out the questions a little bit. And just my last question to you all is, you know, what is one thing that you want the audience to know about the mission of your organization? Like, I didn't have you guys actually like say your missions, but like, if you had to take your whole organization, like organization as a whole, what would be one thing that you would say that would like describe it?
I would say we are connecting on purpose, with purpose and for purpose for every situation in your life. We there, we coming.
Listen, we're ready for it.
Yep.
We are here and ready for it.
Yep, we are connecting with every ounce of us. We're connecting in the community. We're connecting houses. We're connecting, you know, on purpose for the collaborations and that good stuff. You know, with people who, you know, sometimes they don't even know why they connect. So that's why the connection part for me, it's not even on with the purpose. It's the connections, the building the bridges. You know, you don't know people, but if you just get connected, you know, the connection part. So I think connecting on purpose, with purpose, and for purpose is what we do. Advocating. We are here to listen. We are here if you need us. We're patient. We're here for we're here for the grow. We're here for the grow up. We're here for the grow up. So, you know, if anyone has a child that is experiencing a parent that is incarcerated, even women, you know, Jewels on Purpose, my Jewels on Purpose, I didn't touch on it a lot, but that's with women building bridges that last a lifetime.
Last a lifetime. Love it. Love it. Miss Arkeisha?
I would say mine is, you know how I say back in the day, it take a village. Mine is team Kareem. It take a team, and we is that team, and we're willing to help wherever we can.
Absolutely. And it does take a team. It still takes a village, even with just building and growing the organization itself. You know, burnout is real. I just want you guys to know. Burnout is real. We definitely don't want, you know, our amazing leaders to burn out. So we always strive to let you know, learn to get a team behind you that, you know, has a lot of things we talked about today: the focus, the commitment, the consistency, you know, all of these things and more is what's needed to continue to build and grow the organization. But you can take those same things and have them show up in your mission, in your mentorship with your families, with, you know, the things that you're teaching, and just for yourself. So I love those key parts that we pulled out of today's conversation that really allow us to know, like, in this entire conversation, there have been some very key points that have stayed consistent throughout the conversation. And to the audience out there, I hope you guys got those points, because they go beyond just the mentorship. They go beyond just the mission of the organization, but they do fall over into your personal life. They do fall over into your career. They do fall over into relationships that you're building. You know, and there's so many different places that it's going to show up in. So with that being said, I'm going to open up the floor to final thoughts for you guys. And final thoughts, please. I know you both are doing amazing things in the community. So your final thoughts, and maybe one key accomplishment or upcoming event that you have coming up.
Kim, I'm gonna let you go first on that one.
All right, Miss Kim, take it away.
So I would just say my biggest accomplishment is the bridges that I've built through these past 7 years. I have met some phenomenal individuals, from family to women, you know, to children, nonprofits, founders of nonprofits, and I wouldn't change anything. I am always the same. When you see me, I'm the same. I'm gonna be smiling, and sometimes I might not be smiling because I be so focused on whatever it is that I'm doing. But in King, I have a really good heart, and I'm about my business. When it comes to my nonprofit, it is my baby. If anybody knows me, my jewels, they are my babies. So we do have an upcoming event, which is sold out. For the 5th year, we are sold out. We are sold out. We have been doing this for 5 years. Jewels on Purpose, Her Story Edition Gala is this year. It is April 1st. It is just representing women that keep showing up in life through different trials and circumstances. A lot of them I do not know. I just have been following them for some time. And, you know, I just wanted to show them, just because you're unnoticed, just because someone doesn't tell you that you don't feel qualified, there is always somebody watching you, and I'm that somebody. And so I just wanted to give them their roses while they're here. You are one of my nominees this year. So kudos to you. You are doing an amazing job in everything that you do. And we are so grateful that you gave us this opportunity to be on your live. This is so I want to say thank you for that. And Miss Arkeisha, this is amazing. I think we were in the Black women handling business. And, you know, I did read a little bit about you. So I have been keeping up with you. And so I am super excited, you know, if we can collab, we can come together. And, you know, even just you with your self-care, I would love to be your accountability. If you ever need me, I am here. I am on Facebook at Kim Hill.
That'd be great. And I'm mad that I ain't know about the gala. And do I have to eat? Because I would love to come. I don't need to sit at the table.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We got you.
I love it. And Kim, if you can just tell people where they can find you.
So I Am Tailormade is on Facebook. I Am Tailormade Inc. Kids with incarcerated parents. Then I have Jewels on Purpose public page. That is for the women. Building Bridges That Last a Lifetime. And of course, my author page, because I am an author, dropping my 2nd book this year. Yep. So the first book, Faces of Life, is sold on Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Nobles. And then the second book will be dropping this year as well. But you can follow me on every social media page. I have it all. Kim Hill, I Am, Jules on Purpose, and then I Am Tailormade. They are all me. And my profit business is Tailormade Creations and Tailormade Customs.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And Miss Arkeisha, we're going to turn it over to you, your final thoughts and some accomplishments that you might want to share with us.
First, I want to say thank you to you as well, because we met a few years back and we still stay in contact. So I appreciate you and what you do. And I was in a training when we met, so I loved it. And I love what you're doing, for one. Some accomplishment, I did win, as you heard, Kim, the nonprofit Black Women Healing business. That was one, that was huge. So I got that. I did the street naming, and I also got National Drowning Prevention Alliance Award this year. And that's national. And I got the Diversity Award. So that was huge. Because not only has, my city or my state, nationally, they recognize me in drowning prevention. So that was a big accomplishment. And you can find me at teamkareem.org. That's my website. Facebook, Team Kareem Memorial Foundation. Instagram, Team Kareem Memorial Foundation. Everything, Team Kareem.
I love it. I love it. And when this is over for anybody, we're going to go ahead and we'll list out all of their social media handles and their website information so that you all can connect with them, learn more about what they're doing in their communities, within their nonprofit organizations, see how you can get involved if you like to volunteer, collaborate, donate, whether it's your time or a monetary donation, but please support our amazing nonprofit leaders. Each of them are being celebrated by UR Life Consulting this year in our third annual celebrating women in charge in nonprofit organizations. And it's just a way for us to say thank you. We see you. We appreciate everything that you're doing, and that our platform is not just for working to grow and scale nonprofit organizations, but it's also a platform where we get an opportunity to showcase the amazing organizations that we work with and some that we don't work with, but that we definitely, like you said, we watch, we see all, but they are doing amazing things in the community, and we just want to celebrate them. We just want to say we see you, we appreciate you, and keep moving forward, keep doing what you're doing. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and round out today.
Oh, wait.
One more thing.
I'm sorry, Elizabeth. I do have an event coming up June 10th. Awesome. Is our 7th annual walk with Team Kareem to prevent drowning. So y'all can get y'all teams together. The biggest team wins something. And this all goes back into the community. So I need sponsors, vendors, everything. And then Kim, please inbox me. We need to connect. I really would like to connect with you. Okay. Thank y'all. Sorry.
So I would love, now that you say that, so I would love to pour back into your organization. So I would give you a pro bono on the bounce house.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You ladies are absolutely awesome. We had an absolutely fabulous conversation today. I want to thank each of you for coming onto our platform and sharing your stories and having this candid conversation about what it is for you to be a nonprofit leader and be in this space and working with your community, some of the ups, some of the downs, what your passion is, what your why is. And we just want to thank you for coming on and sharing all of this with us. So all of those that are watching, please tune in. If you're catching the replay, just let us know it's the replay. But again, we'll include all of the information to contact these two amazing nonprofit leaders so that you guys can all get with them and support them.